I love CAVA. I remember when I lived 5 minutes away from one, and you'd walk out with a bowl that's fresh, so filling, and just feels so good. And with how Chipotle has been doing this past year, CAVA was a breath of fresh air. Then I moved, and I've really been craving it. So, it explains today's video on CAVA bowls, or CAVA wraps, I don't judge. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to get double Chipotle meat for free, and let's kick it off. So, I don't usually order wraps, but here's how my order would usually go for a bowl. I get saffron basmati rice, which I only have jasmine at home, so I'll deal with that. I get 2 sauces, tzatziki and red pepper hummus. I sometimes order the crazy feta. I usually get the grilled chicken, but if I'm feeling myself, I'll pay the extra for the Honey Harissa. Fiery broccoli, it's a relatively new CAVA item, but it's still pretty good. And then tomato and cucumber is a great way to get some crunch, even though I hate tomatoes. Pita Crisps, super good. I'm surprised if you never order this. And then the 2 drizzle sauces, Tahini Caesar and yogurt Dill. Super tangy and super savory. It's crazy, I get like 4 sides and also 4 sauces. To begin, here's the Honey Harissa Chicken. It starts a few hours before with some skinless, boneless chicken thighs. This is around 2 to 3 pounds worth. Honey Harissa Chicken has a bit of spice and balanced with a bit of sweetness. So you'll need harissa, olive oil, red wine vinegar, a mix of onion powder and garlic powder, honey, and garlic. Alright, start with dumping all your thighs into a bowl, then add all your ingredients. For the garlic, take a microplaner and grate the garlic into the bowl. I'm mixing this together until it gets well incorporated and red, and set this in the fridge for at least an hour. To cook, use an air fryer or cook in a pan until the chicken registers a 165 Fahrenheit internal. Look at this color. We eating good. After letting the chicken rest for a few minutes, add them to a chopping board and dice them, and set aside for a bowl. Next, red pepper hummus. Red pepper hummus is creamy, smooth, nutty, and savory. And of course, it starts with the red pepper. If you have a red pepper, cut each side off and place on a small roasting tray, skin side up. I'm tossing this in olive oil and salt and massaging that in, and then putting it in a 400 Fahrenheit degree oven for around 20 minutes. Add the peppers to the food processor along with some canned chickpeas or garbanzo. My processor is fairly small, so I'm doing this in 2 batches. Next goes a sesame paste called tahini. Add olive oil, salt, lemon juice, and a garlic clove and blitz in the processor. Initial taste, it's super sesame forward and chickpea forward, but not a lot of red pepper flavor, so I'm adding the rest of the red pepper here. It should pick up a bit of red color, and it's solid. I'm setting it aside for the wrap, but it goes great as a dip. If you had some pita chips, this is a next sauce, tzatziki. Tzatziki is a tangy, fresh, herby, garlicky sauce, and it starts with half a long cucumber. I have a box grater, and grating the cucumber on the smaller side. I stopped midway through because I realized I should add some paper towel underneath, and you'll see why. Continue until you get through the full cucumber and squeeze the grated cucumber to get its juices out. Dump this cucumber pulp into a food processor, add some parsley, mint, and dill as your herbs, then some garlic and some lemon juice. Our main base, the Greek yogurt, and olive oil to thin it out. Color-wise, it's white with a lot of green specks. Taste-wise, it's an initial rush of coolness and it feels and tastes fresh. Set this aside for our first topping of the night, tomato and cucumber. The CAVA tomato cucumber is a Greek-inspired salad. That's probably the best way to describe it. It's a good crunch, good fresh, and bright flavor. For the cucumber, I'm slicing into quarters, then eighths, basically thin enough to dice to appropriate sizes. Next, tomato. I won't lie, so I'm only going to use half of this tomato. Set the tomato aside, and set the onion aside. Now, the herbs of parsley and mint, bundle it up and mince all the way through. In a bowl, add the herbs, then the cucumber, tomato, and red onion. Maybe add more herbs and squeeze in half of a lemon, add olive oil and salt, mix, and that is your tomato and cucumber topping. Another topping, the fiery broccoli. This is a fairly new topping from CAVA, but it's a great addition. And I'm a broccoli guy, what can I say? So it starts with broccoli. These are pre-cut florets. I'm chopping off more of the stems and then slicing these larger florets into thinner steaks. I'm adding it to a bowl, and let's season with red pepper flakes, olive oil, and red wine vinegar, and of course salt. It mix until it's all set and the broccoli soaked a bit in the seasoning, and once it's done, you'll know it'll be nice and crispy. The last topping, the Pita Crisps. Look, even if you order this on a pita wrap or with a side pita, you need some kind of crunch, and that's the Pita Crisps. So, starts with a single pita. I'm cutting it into quarters, saving 1/4 for my side pita, and chopping lengthwise the remaining 3/4 of pita. Toss this in a bowl with salt, olive oil, and garlic powder, and then place on a sheet tray for 15 minutes at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. It'll be done when it's golden brown and pretty crispy. And now our 2 sauces. Let's start with the Tahini Caesar dressing. It's a tangy, more bold, sesame-forward Caesar dressing. One of my friends saw this bottle and asked why I have a Subway sauce bottle in my fridge. Anyways, it starts with Greek yogurt, tahini, and water. I'm adding a bit of Worcestershire sauce and grating a clove of garlic. I'm also adding in a bit of Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna whisk this until it's well incorporated, and of course, pouring this into a sauce bottle for later. And to finish, yogurt dill dressing. If you're wondering why I have this if I already have tzatziki, who cares? This is really similar to tzatziki though, just without the extra herbs. It's a lot of Greek yogurt, squeezing a lot of lemon juice, adding dill, which I have to chop beforehand, a grated garlic clove, salt, and olive oil. Mix until, well, mixed. So now it's time, the CAVA Bowl. Well, let's start there. So I have a pot of jasmine rice, and I know it's not the saffron rice from CAVA, but it's all I got. A good layer goes on the bottom. I got my protein, the Honey Harissa Chicken, then some fiery broccoli, still the tzatziki and the red pepper hummus, then my tomato and cucumber mix, and then I'm gonna top this all off with Pita Crisps. Sauce-wise, I have the Tahini Caesar, drizzle in one direction, and the yogurt dill, drizzle in the other direction. And that's the CAVA Bowl. But of course, half of you probably get the pita wrap, so this is the pita wrap. Start with the sauces, our Honey Harissa Chicken, the tomato cucumber combo, and then the fiery broccoli. Next, Pita Crisps, and the 2 sauces, and that's your pita wrap. I have foil and some parchment paper to try to wrap this better. Ooh, that looks good. And it tastes good too. CAVA is better. This is fresh, it's rich, super filling. So now here's a call out to Chipotle. Chipotle, you better not make any of your bowls smaller. Subscribe now or Chipotle will charge you triple for your chicken.